I made a video a while back talking about how the name Yahweh necessarily points to God being a Trinity. I wanted to revisit this argument and actually make it stronger and better. To do that, I would like to first lay out the premises. The first premise is that God's nature is eternal. God is immutable, which means his nature never changes. Second is that God's nature is fully within himself. Third is that divine names reveal a nature of God. It is important to understand that God's nature came first, and then words and phrases within human languages were chosen by God to convey the information that God wanted to reveal to people. Why? Because languages were created, but God's nature is not. His nature is as eternal as God Himself. Also, I would argue that even though words and phrases cannot fully capture God's nature perfectly, concepts of his nature revealed through his names are accurate. This is because the Bible to a believer is inerrant. Being in error about the nature of God revealed in his name would be a huge problem for the doctrine of inerrancy. So now, let's get to the argument. The divine name Yahweh, together with Ehyeh, Asher, Ehyeh, necessarily point to God being triune in his nature. It is because the name Yahweh is just a verb. In Hebrew, verbs can stand alone without a subject and be a full clause by itself if the subject is a pronoun. However, when the pronoun is dropped, the verb must have enough grammatical information in it to tell what the subject is. To do that, the verb is conjugated with agreement marker and person marker. So, what is the verb we're talking about? The verb is just the be verb in the form that encodes the information of being masculine, third person singular. It is masculine because God is a personal being, not because he is a biological male. But the important part for our discussion is the third person singular. So basically, God's name is a verb for to be. That means that God's nature revealed in the name Yahweh is God is the existence of a single third person. Think how weird and confusing that is. God's eternal nature points to another eternal person. And here is the thing, because the name Yahweh encodes the information of a third person singular existence, there is also a single second person existence. This is because the third person implies the existence of a perspective that is the point of reference and another perspective where those two are involved in recognizing a third person's existence. If it were only two perspectives, then a third person could not exist. And all three perspectives must exist within God because God is self sufficient. Now, a question can arise. How do we know that God must be one being with three persons instead of being three separate beings? For that, we have to look at Exodus 3, verses 13 to 15. It says, Then Moses said to God, If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say this to the people of Israel, He is the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and thus I am to be remembered throughout all generations. God gives three names here. One is I am that I am, another is I am, and the last one is He is. I am is also just a be verb, but it is conjugated to be the first person singular form. And the important name for my argument is I am that I am. Try to think abstractly. His name is to exist that exists. So his name means God's existence just exists. In other words, he is the uncaused existence. And since both names I am and he is reveal God's nature, The uncaused existing nature of God can be applied to the name of He is as well. And here is the thing. From God's point of view, I's eternal nature is of His existence, and His eternal nature is of I's existence. That makes I and He the same eternal existence. So this shows that God is at least three persons within Himself. And there is no name, they are, which shows that there is no more persons in the Godhead. And in a previous video, I gave the evidence from the divine name revealed in Matthew chapter 28 verse 19 that God is a Trinity and not more. Thus, right from Genesis chapter 2, when the divine name Yahweh is revealed to us, the Bible has been telling us that God is indeed a Trinity. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please give it a like and subscribe. Goodbye.